I learned a long time ago that there's no sense getting all riled up every time a bunch of idiots give you a hard time. In the end, the universe tends to unfold as it should. Plus, I have a really large penis. That keeps me happy.
Now, what you've got here is a scrotum and nothing else.
Vagina.
My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
God darn it, Mr. Lamar. You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
Probably late. Oh, Friday night time. Radical light and highly organized. It's Friday night time. Friday night times. If you're still not offended tonight. Oh, Friday night times. Rest assured that the chances are high.
X-ray girl. Oh, wow. X-ray girl. Sorry, I just spilled my coffee on my lap. And you would have never known if I hadn't said anything. Welcome, everybody, to the Rumble. Nerdrotic Nooner. It's also on YouTube. This is the Rumble. What's up, Rumble? Let's see who's here. It's all fun and games. It's all fun and games until you fuck around and find out. Welcome here. Asin 314, probably spell something. Red Hulk 05, the mime from hell. All mimes are from hell, by the way. So are clowns. Bill Pichelle, hope I got that right. Alex Moore, Randall Kildare, Freddie York, an internet loser. Well, right there with you, brother. Right there with you. Or sister, not really sure. M. Mooney, Brandon Law, C. Lady Aaron D. Hey, that rhymed. All right. And Lord Thoth. How are you, Lord Thoth? And we're going to get going now. There's not a lot to talk about with the Oscars. I just got off of Piers Morgan when we were talking about it. And it's just it was kind of a meh show. There is some clips out there of stupidity because it's Hollywood, but they clearly, and I mean clearly, got the memo. Do not mention Trump's name. I thought after the events with Zelensky getting schooled, that there would be Ukraine flags everywhere. We would see little blockbuster pins everywhere. And we didn't. There was a Daryl Hannah came out and said Slava Ukraine. Daryl Hannah, I mean, she's been in a lot of great Splash, Blade Runner, Kill Bill, She's a dumb old woke white woman, but I like some of the stuff she was in. And that's what happens to a lot of actresses when they hit this is, Hollywood. When they hit the perceived wall, they become activists because just being hot girl, they can't get away with it anymore. They can't get away with it anymore in Hollywood. The way the politics work there. Oh yeah, nothing's changed post Me Too. Fucking nothing's changed at all. Well, I can't say that with women. All right, they're not underrepresented. They're not underpaid. That's a bunch of horse shit in Hollywood, especially with the DEI stuff. What is underrepresented, what has changed, is Hollywood is no longer masculine. It is not a very masculine town, and they probably thought they could move past masculinity, and it turns out they couldn't, because we're still half the planet. Although women do outlive us, that female privilege that they have. They got rid of masculinity. So, but it wasn't a super gay Oscars. Conan O'Brien did. I know where his politics are from, and I know he did that cringe, like, Haiti's a great country. Haiti doesn't need to change. Why don't you go visit it now, Conan? But I've mostly liked Conan O'Brien. I think he was the superior late night host to maybe all but Craig Ferguson. He probably should have taken over. He probably would have ended up like all of them anyway. I don't know. But he seemed to have maintained most of his dignity and integrity. And he's a funny guy. He used to do some of the best. He used to take his show to Comic-Con at the Spreckles Theater every year. And those were like really good shows, fun shows. He also did one of the best sketches in late night history of George R.R. Martin fucking off while he should have been writing the book, which is still, like, to this day, one of the funniest sketches I've ever seen. So, and he's a nerd. He actually reads comics and stuff. So, but I think he did fine. And he's been the best host in years. This was the least offensive Oscar in years. It's also the most boring. I watched the majority for Film Threat and for Chris, the majority of Best Picture nominees, including Anora, including A Complete Unknown, Wicked, Amelia Perez. I'm forgetting one. I have to look at the list, but I'm forgetting some. And Dune Part 2, of course. And I would say, and Substance. 3 on that list actually were worthy of probably being a nomination, but not winning in any other year. And I include that with Dune Part 2 because I think Dune Part 1 was better, was a superior movie. The list was just shit. And and I thought it was, survive until 25, which means they pushed everything off to this year, supposedly, which has, by the way, been the slowest box office year since COVID so far. So I'm not sure how that strategy worked. I think they actually will say, like, instead of survive till 25, we'll have the fix in 26. Pray to heaven somebody comes back in 27. I don't know. Like, they can keep having these sayings. I just don't think I think they aren't quite faced with the reality that they have dug themselves in such a hole that they are no longer prominent anymore. And celebrities, I just mentioned this on Piers, thanks to social media, we got to know them, and that ended the era of celebrities. Now we have, is this era better? No. Now we're in the era of influencers. Oh my God, influencers. I fucking hate that word, by the way. It's applicable to some people, but I fucking hate it. I hate it. So, no, I don't think it's better. We were talking about Gene Hackman and his passing, and like, he represents an era of Hollywood we will never see again. Versatile actor, could play comedy, drama, action. I didn't get to mention this on Piers. My favorite Gene Hackman movie is Crimson Tide, because that is the best screaming in all of cinema. That is the best arguing and screaming in all of cinema. Period. I mean, I got a soft spot for Superman too. That was the first time I ever heard of a Gene Hackman. I was like, why are these actors' names coming above the guy playing Superman? I didn't really understand, you know, because at the time I was 9. So I probably heard of Marlon Brando, but I'm like, who's Gene Hackman? Didn't watch The French Connection when I was 5. But Hoosiers is awesome. He's got, like, it's debatable. Unforgiven. He's in so much good shit. But he's also in The Birdcage, right? And he's pretty funny in that. He's also, like, one of his funniest scenes is in Young Frankenstein as the monk, as the blind monk. You know, like, the guy could do it all. And we don't have that era anymore because Hollywood's not getting the best talent anymore. And the era of celebrity is over. So the people who would be a good actor and versatile actor are going to go off and either do their own thing or do something else. There's a finite amount of talent in this world that can, and it's much smaller when it gets to the rare air of a Clint Eastwood, a Jack Nicholson, a Gene Hackman. But what sets Gene Hackman aside from even the great Clint Eastwood, one of my favorite actors of all time, one of my favorite people of all time on this planet, may he live to 3,000. And Jack Nicholson and Clint Eastwood are Jack Nicholson and Clint Eastwood on the screen every time. We fully accept that because their charisma is on another level of all other human beings. And we're like, we know what we're going to get. And it's going to be Jack Nicholson acting like Jack Nicholson. I'm totally fucking okay with that. But Gene Hackman can act. Gene Hackman can act. Crimson Tide is, I need to see it again. I need to see it again. I love Jack Nicholson's Joker. As a matter of fact, Jack Nicholson was fan casting for the Joker. So for some of the older people in the audience who are as old as me, will remember that everybody was saying since The Shining, Jack Nicholson should play the Joker. And believe me, that was in the air of pop culture at the time. So it was definitely fan casting. And they just said, sure. Now, if you think about it, would Willem Dafoe have been a better Joker? Like a better comic accurate Joker? Yes. 100,000 times yes. And he proved that when he played the Green Goblin, and he fucking killed it. Actually, his best performance as the Green Goblin, arguably, is No Way Home. He fucking killed it in that movie. But it was a snore fest, and what made it entertaining was I got to hang out with my friends and just kind of roast it, and roast each other, and that was fun. And that's what we used to do at the Oscar watch parties. The Oscar used to be known as the gay Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen, and now it's just gay. No, it's just boring, and they had nothing, and to be fair to them, there wasn't a bunch of, like, you couldn't nominate Deadpool and Wolverine for Best Picture. No fucking way. Now, if somebody went back in time and said, hey, Deadpool's going to be named for Best Picture, I go, yes. The first Deadpool, if it was nominated for Best Picture, I would go, yeah, that makes sense. Critics loved it. Who gives a fuck? Every human beings loved it. Actual human beings who went to the movie. And it's as far as superhero movies go, it's one of the best. Dark Knight should have been nominated. I would argue should have won. We can go way back in the past. I think there was an article that finally fucking acknowledged reality. And I think it was from the Hollywood Reporter that said it was like all the times Hollywood got it wrong. And they finally pointed out that Chariots of Fire, a bunch of fucking slow English people running in slow motion to arguably a really good soundtrack. Okay. Should not have beaten Raiders of the Lost Ark for Best Picture. That's a fucking joke. And listen, I'll go one further. I know a lot of the Hollywood cinephiles love Annie Hall. Fuck Annie Hall. Star Wars should have won Best Picture. Nobody but hardcore cinephiles even remember Annie Hall, directed by the guy who married his fucking stepdaughter. Directed by the guy who married his stepdaughter. Yeah, Woody fucking Allen. Who they still love. They would love to welcome him back. Hollywood would. Creepy ass Woody Allen. But yeah, it was fun hanging out with them. The 2022 Oscars were 1,000 times worse than this. So if you want to see evidence of your cultural shift and where you are winning, you could argue that Hollywood shutting the fuck up for the Oscars, kind of a win. I don't know for them. I don't give a shit, honestly, right now. They need them, but I think it's a win for humanity. Not Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson is a stoner weirdo, but I kind of like him. I don't agree, obviously, with all of his politics, but he did come out anti-coof. So good for him on that. On that issue, I agree with him. I agree with weirdo old Woody Harrelson. I was watching his Joe Rogan thing, and it's like, you got to watch it on double speed. Kingpin's great. Kingpin's a great movie. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But yeah, the big takeaway, I guess, would be Zoe Saldana. I love that I'm the only person on earth that's white who has been pronouncing her name right for the last 10 years when I pronounce so many things wrong. So I'm going to take this win. I'm going to take this victory lap. I'm going to take it. I like some of the speeches were Sean Baker's speech, I think, is the biggest takeaway. I think Sean Baker, somebody was talking about Timothy Chalamet. I don't think I heard his speech. But I'll get that in just a second, X-Ray Girl. She wants me to do sponsor, but wait a second, okay. I think the best speech was Sean Baker telling Hollywood that we're dying here. We need to fix some things. And one of those is a longer theatrical window. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Without theaters, Hollywood and the Oscars and the big money train that they had will not continue. The problem is you cannot unmake the soup with streaming. It's out there. There's nothing you can do. And what they don't acknowledge is once you did that, you just made everything free because it's a lot easier to pirate shit. Now it's a lot easier to pirate shit. It was harder to pirate shit when you made physical media, you dumb shits, but whatever. It wasn't impossible. But, you know, I told the story. I'll tell it again. Technicolor, when my job was, I was the last line of defense for a Blu-ray before it got out. I was the one who signed off on it and said, okay, send print, go. So I'd do the master. I also did a lot of audio archiving and video archiving on DAT tape, and then a bunch of other shit, fixing menus, little editing here and there, but that was kind of off the books. But yeah, so signing off. And what we would do is we would burn the master for a Blu-ray. This is for one, Blu-rays way easier to do than DVDs because you had more space. DVDs, there was a lot more checks and balances, but even at the time, DVDs outsold Blu-rays 10,000 to 1. I think worldwide, DVDs still outsell Blu-rays. Pretty sure that's the case, but it's been a minute since I was at Technicolor, since 2011, whatever. Yeah, so we burned the master on Nero, a cracked version of Nero that we were specifically told to never update or sign into. Technicolor. It was being at the time contracted by Paramount, HBO, and we did some Disney stuff. In Nero. It's so funny. It's so fucking funny. Yeah. I shut down the whole system too because they had this old fucking brown. This is 2011, but they had this old fucking 90s computer on like Windows 98, and the whole network fed through that, right? So it was in our office, so people wouldn't fuck with it. But nobody ever told me, hey, if this thing freezes up, call somebody in and don't restart it. Because when the thing, freezes up, you just, okay, shit, I better reboot it. Apparently that was a really bad idea, and I shut down Technicolor for half a day. They were so happy with me. No, celebs are worthless now. You're right. You're right. Long live the Blu-ray. Yes, I agree. Celebs are worthless now, and that's why it's such a crisis for them. It's an identity crisis for them because their whole identity is not wrapped up in they like their bank accounts, but man, what really matters to them is you mattering to them, influence, their ego. They need the constant adulation. They need that. They need it to live, and they're not influential anymore. They're not. As a matter of fact, they're de-influential. Is that a term? I just made it a term. Probably makes no sense. I don't know if I was a rebel, Eric, as much as a fucking idiot, but with the Technicolor thing, but yeah. You still have your HD DVD player? Yeah, I remember those. Blu-ray kicked its ass. Blu-ray kicked its ass. All right, today's sponsor. 1775 coffee. I'm going to have some coffee. Some coffee is weak. Some coffee is sad. Some coffee is so bad it probably votes Democrat. But 1775 coffee, it's bold, it's strong, it's America first in every single cup. The dark roast hits harder than a Trump comeback. The medium roast smooth, no bitterness, just like life before Bidenomics. And the Vitality Mushroom Blend fuels your brain like Trump at a debate. This is the coffee that patriots drink, that Rumble drinks, and that I drink. Small farms, small batches, roasted fresh in Miami every week, because your coffee should be fresher than White House press conference briefing trying to explain the economy. Whole bean ground pods, they've got it all. Go to 1775coffee.com, use code Nerdrotic for 15% off, and start every morning with coffee that actually stands for something. Oh, and every dollar spent enters you to win the possibility to win. So it enters you to win a Cybertruck and $30,000 cash. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So there you go. 1775coffee.com. Use code Nerdrotic. Use code Nerdrotic. I don't think we'll get Oscar ratings today, I think, but I'll keep an eye out. Oscars go light on politics despite heated climate amid Trump's second term. Yeah, that's your takeaway. That is your takeaway. They shut the fuck up when, especially again with the Zelensky stuff, I thought they would just not, and they did. That's you winning, kids. They're not going to change how they feel. And yes, I know it's full of ads. Fucking Adobe. I fucking hate Adobe now. I hate the subscription. I have to use it. I'm looking to not use it. I really miss when I could have my physical copy of Photoshop and Premiere. Yes, so the Oscar goes light on politics despite heated climate amid Trump's second term. Conan O'Brien, Adrian Brody, and Daryl Hannah were among the few people to make political center remarks, although the 2025 awards ceremony on Sunday. Well, with Adrian Brody, he just said, don't forget to check hate and watch out for the anti-Semitism. And I think that was in a response for the most political thing clearly was the Palestinian movie winning and them talking about Gaza and genocide and stuff. So I'm thinking Adrian was responding to that a little bit, but not really sure. Yes, Conan, while he's was introducing Anora, which wasn't a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. It's fine. It's a fine rom-com. Is 5 Oscars and a Best Picture. I think that's more indicative of what little came out. I thought The Substance was a better movie. All around better performances. I thought Anora was fine. It's not my kind of movie at all. I can sit through rom-coms. I can sit through them, but it's just like, it was like, I've kind of seen this done before, but I think it's good that a guy who spent $6 million on the movie won. I think that's overall good. Nobody's going to watch it. Nobody's seen it. Nobody's heard of Nickel Boys. No, nominated for Best Picture. Yeah. Substance was the best one I watched out of the list. So yeah. Despite this year being highly political so far, with Donald Trump back in the White House, the 2025 Oscars were surprisingly the opposite. Not really surprisingly at all. No. I again, up until the Zelensky thing, I'm like, no, there's no way they're going to say shit this year. And there's no way they are this quiet without being told to be this quiet. They were told. Don't let anybody tell you different. They were fucking told. Amazon's biggest night. Why did I say Amazon? Oh, because Hollywood's Amazon now. That's so weird that I just said Amazon. I'm looking right at the word Hollywood. Hollywood's biggest night typically offers several moments of politically focused commentary, whether it be from the host, presenters, or winners. However, this year, most avoided commenting on the current tense political climate, other than minor remarks sprinkled throughout the Sunday night ceremony. Since Trump's second presidency got underway in January, he has been publicly scrutinized for his controversial agenda, wanting to make America great again, wanting to stop wars, wanting to scrutinize the government that takes our money and fails audits. And now we're like going to save some money now. These are horrible, controversial things to evil people, to people who want to be authoritarians, who want to steal from us, who want to destroy our country. So yes, certainly it's controversial to evil people and dumb motherfuckers. Let's not forget that. We can't have evil people without a bunch of dumb motherfuckers. One and the same, baby. Sweeping executive orders. Yeah, you weren't saying that when Obama was doing them. Affecting immigration. No, illegal aliens. Illegal immigration. Climate change. Biggest scam pulled on humanity. By the way, don't want to get too deep into it now, but I will. I fucking will. Climate's always changing. Look a little bit in the past. We have had actually the second most temporal climate right now than we have in the last 20,000 years. There was a medieval warming period where it was actually warmer and you could like farm in Greenland. And you know what happened? More people ate. People got bigger. People got healthier when it was warmer. When it gets a little colder, you know what happens? Black plagues. So it's always changing. It's always changing to the point where they had to come out with the hockey stick, which leveled out the past temperatures, which, by the way, is a lie, through ice core samples from Greenland and Antarctica. It will show you a temperature change that looks like your average Coke fiend's heart rate. If you go back pre-Ice Age, Younger Dryas, post-Younger Dryas, the world has only looked like the world we have right here, geologically speaking, for a nanosecond. The world used to have a lot more land. The seas were 400 feet lower. Indonesia used to be called Sundaland. It was a giant continent. That was just 12,000 years ago. So yes, the climate is always changing. That's why they use that, because it's not an inaccurate term. But which is it? Is it getting colder or is it getting hotter? Because if it gets colder, which is what they were trying to do, Bill Gates was going to reflect the sunlight. That's very fucking bad, reflecting sunlight from plant life. Does it mean we should litter? No. Rant over. Federal diversity programs. Yeah, we can get rid of those. We don't need fucking federal diversity. So I am Fuck paying for a transgender comic book in Peru. Fuck paying for wars. Fuck all that shit. No, you're all cut off. The kindest thing you can do to an addict when they're in the thralls of addiction, the greatest act of love my father ever showed me was kicking me out of the house and cutting me off. And that's what we need to do with everybody right now. They're on our fucking teat. We aren't getting any value for our dollar at all. And we're not the fucking world police. So no, you're all cut off. And that's what I voted for. And most Americans voted for. And transgender rights. Look, a dude was nominated for Best Actress. A fucking man. A dude who played a dude for a third of the movie was nominated for Best Actress. Talk to me about your fucking rights. What about the rights of the woman who got left off because a fucking man was nominated for Best Actress? And I think Hollywood had some instant regret. I think my conspiratorial mind, and I mentioned this on Piers, I think they purposely looked for those bad tweets, knowing they were there, to get out of this decision. Because if that would have been all the news, because that dude was going to win. Absolutely. And I was fucking hoping for it. If those tweets don't come up, Amelia Perez sweeps. Fucking sweeps. And I think somebody maybe had a brain in the Oscars going, you know, this might not be the best idea. Is there anything we can find on this person? Oh, there is. Oh, praised Hitler. Okay, that's it. Transgender rights. By the way, on Piers, I called him a he, and I will continue calling him a he. As far as if you're a transgender individual and you're of healthy, sound mind and body, and we meet in real life and you ask me nicely, I may consider it. But I'm very comfortable with the pronouns I've been using for 55 years, and they're the only ones I give a fuck about. And I will not participate in your fantasies. So it's a dude. Now, it's a dude acting like a woman. Among many others, federal diversity programs. While host Conan O'Brien kept his opening monologue apolitical, he found a moment later in the ceremony to do a quick joke about Trump, not standing up to a Russian guy. I'm sorry, what standing up to Russian guys has any of the previous presidents done? Who's the only president who Putin's ever been worried about? I'm no fan of him. See, I think it's really possible to not like either government, have no problem with Ukrainian people or Russian people whatsoever, but I don't like either government. And I think it's very easy to just go, let them work it out. I don't want us involved. America first. I don't think any British boots should be on the ground. That is the fucking dumbest thing ever. We're heading right towards World War III. For what? But yeah, they took that jab and Daryl Hannah, but that was it. The biggest takeaway is they didn't say much, right? I don't know about afterwards or before, and I don't really care. I'm guessing the ratings again. I went to go check the ratings. Oscar 2025 ratings. Nothing yet. That'll be tomorrow. Late tonight, tomorrow. Saley for $199. We got a Cena heel turn before the win's a winner. I know, right? And I think that was actually pretty good. It's easy to hate Cena and The Rock right now. So I think them as bad guys is great. WrestleMania will be the same weekend as our meetup. I like, are we gonna go? I don't know. It's really expensive, but Jeremy wanted me to do it around that weekend, and honestly, I don't give a fuck about CinemaCon. Honestly, again, sorry. To get into CinemaCon is pretty similar to a scalp ticket for WrestleMania. That's how it's thousands of dollars. It's $1,200 for the cheapest ticket. So you can hang out around like the girl from Black Girl Nerds giving you fucking dirty looks in a trade show that's boring as fuck. And it's basically Comic-Con presentations, except to a bunch of pretentious wannabe journalists and fucking corporate teak critics. That I saw Jeremy Johns there, and that was great. I got to meet him and talk to him. That was the best part. The worst part, my friend had a fucking stroke. So no, I don't want to go back ever. But John Cena, I'm so sorry. Taiwan is a country. Okay, let's have a nice, pleasant conversation today, everyone. Try not to be so toxic and be each other. Why do you bother, Eric? Quick, the substance review, please. Gary, love you. A quick review. I thought it was the most creative movie of the Best Picture nominees, as far as style, as far as particularly editing. Like, it is, the editing on it is just, there's no better word, sexy. I'm an editor, so that's what I gravitate towards, and it was phenomenal editing. Stylish directing, lots of homage to past horror, and a scathing and absolute scathing commentary on beauty standards in Hollywood. And Demi Moore is fucking great in it. She's great. Washed up actress, willing to do anything to stay youthful, and it creates you literally you take the substance and a younger version of you pops out your back. And the company that creates the substance is always mindful to say, you are the Matrix. You are the one in control. It's actually you. You're not a separate person, but your husk of an old body stays there and it has to be fed, right? And then it is still the brain. It is still the hard drive of the new body, but they start to separate, obviously. Now, the end goes full gwar. It goes full, like, just blood spraying metal. And I fucking loved it. But it's fast paced. It was the best directed film. It was the best edited film. Demi Moore's performance is better than Mickey or whatever her name is in Anora, like by orders of magnitude better. She's fine in that movie. Not saying she's terrible, but she was not better than Demi Moore. It was a total fucking snub. As far as body horror movies go, it's pretty good. I've seen worse. I've seen a lot worse. So, but it goes crazy at the end. And I know not everybody, because they could have really explored some deeper things in this, but it kind of remembers what the movie is. And the movie, it's a horror movie. It's a black comedy horror movie. And Dennis Quaid is great in it. Like, yeah. But I loved the style of it. I loved how it was directed. It was shot like it was cinema. It was cinematic. Anora, well-directed movie, fast-paced, pretty good editing, and it's just very serviceable. The substance was something artistic, was something on another level. And when you mix that in with a certain type of surrealism that I've always been a fan of, going back to, like, who I believe is the modern master of surrealism, which is Terry Gilliam. I really like it when it's done right. So Substance is a banger. Absolute banger. Hi, Gary, and anyone else who's there with him. Oh, then you're going to say hi to Kara and X-Ray Girl. Well, they're in the room. Candace Owens is releasing an investigative series on Harvey Weinstein. She said she's coming after Hollywood. It will be interesting. I'll check it out. Candace has some views, I'll say. Like, not her views on her like channel, like views on life. That are I just remember where she came from. She used to be on the other side. Now people can change, and that's fine. And I'll check it out. But I doubt Candace agrees with all of my views, and I definitely don't agree with her. Doesn't mean I won't watch it, because I'll watch it. Curse you, Gary. We, the League of Evil Garys, or LEG, will defeat you and the rest of FNT. Just you wait and see. Oh, my God. It's one of those rainbow beards. I mean, anybody has a fucking beard like that, like, needs to put on a watch list, and don't let your kids within 1,000 yards of them. Seriously. You see a dyed beard that's not from a movie. You're not like a Tyroshi from A Song of Ice and Fire. I'm talking like in the real world. It's one of those rainbow beards or stuff like that. That person's on a watch list 10 out of 10 times. An internet loser for $9.99. I was hoping to make Vegas Meetup this year, but it is the day before Good Friday, and I have to be home to sing in my church choir. Well, that's cool. Have fun for me, yeah. Understandable. Got to have your priorities. Maybe next year. Aurora uplinks for $5. You have a token gift in the mail. Hopefully I said it correctly. Expect something Warhammery. Oh, also, I kind of liked Hamill's joke about Jaws. Yeah, I mean, his pants stayed up. Eddie Brock, 9043 for $5.99. Very doubtful Daredevil Born Again will pay respect to the original. No, it won't, because they already kind of did for season 3. Not a great start to that crossing the line scenario. Well, Daredevil comes out tomorrow. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm going to spend the rest of the day rewatching Daredevil in preparation. You know, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. Okay. And that'll be my next video. I'll be reviewing Daredevil. I have this pinned on my calendar is okay. Are things going to turn around or not? As critical and as horrible as critical I am, and as horrible that Captain America 4 is. What I said before that some people clap back on, but it turns out, you know what? I'm not a I told you so guy, but like I'm right on this one. When you release bad shit, it hurts your brand. When you release bad shit, it hurts your brand. Even if it's like something, you know, like, hey, we have to release it. It's obligatory. No, you would be better off not releasing it, because it damages your brand. Captain America, it's the rule of attrition, okay? So Captain America 4 acts just like the Flash, acts just like Blue Beetle, acts just like Black Adam as a black eye to DC. Flop after flop after flop after motherfucking flop. And when they get something right, like the Penguin, they fuck it up. When they get something right, like the first Joker, they fuck it up. So, superhero film in trouble. And one of the things I have pinned is a TV show. And we'll see how they do with the greatest thing, live action, ladies and gentlemen, that Marvel has ever done. Greatest adaptation, live action that Disney Marvel has ever done. I need to make that correction. Disney Marvel. And Kevin Feige had nothing to do with the first 3 seasons. Zero. It was Jeff Loeb. It was the TV side. It was like Perlmutter, Drew Goddard, Stephen S. DeKnight. These are people who developed Daredevil into the greatest show ever, and none of those people are there. We have Sana Amanat as a producer. That's not good. But it looks like they're trying with this show, so I'll find out. Because I want it to be good, because I fucking love Daredevil as a character, love him as a comic character, own every Daredevil comic ever printed. Yeah. I even like the fucking Ben Affleck movie, the director's cut. Make Clint Eastwood live to be old and Gary. There you go. Old as Gary. That's it. Aurora Uplinks for $5. The 80s produced some great comic book movies, and even 90s. Did you consider the Starship Troopers movie to have that comic book movie energy? Yeah, I did. The Conversation is Hackman's best movie, in my opinion. I'm not going to argue with that. That's a great movie. It's Ford Coppola. Why the fuck was Michelle Trachtenberg not mentioned? Why the fuck was Bernard Hill not mentioned? Tony Todd. Yeah, they fucked up. Oscars always sucked. Even in the 80s, had some lame Best Picture winners. Ordinary People, agreed. Gandhi, Terms of Endearment, Chariots of Fire, Out of Africa, Driving Miss Daisy. Yeah. No, back then we were just like, hey, will our favorite movie get nominated? Like Back to the Future doesn't get nominated for Best Picture. But it's clearly one of the best movies ever made. Clearly. It was clear then. It's clear now. So what won Best Picture in 1985? It was Amadeus. Amadeus, pretty good movie. Amadeus is a pretty good movie. Not going to shit on Amadeus. Is it better than Back to the Future? Does it have more cultural relevance? What movie gets talked about all the time as almost a perfect movie? One of the best trilogies ever made. So I will say that I understand why they picked Amadeus at the time. It probably means, but now that Best Pictures are supposed to be the ones you remember decades from now, and most people are not going to remember Amadeus. That's a good movie, by the way. I'm not shitting on that movie at all. It's a good movie. But it's not better than Back to the Future. It's not. Denzel via Crimson Tide. Everyone knows the Kirby Silver Surfer was the only real Silver Surfer. That's why it's my favorite. Although that's not entirely true, because John Buscema made a fucking great Silver Surfer. Is true. But Kirby's first one is, but you can't shit on John Buscema's run. It's really fucking great. Hale, sad that I'm half a world away from Vegas. Tim Hallman hasn't been replying to my bribes, but I hope that you and the fellowship have a gay old time. Aegon, the Based. Cheers. I'll be in the UK. I don't know if that's closer to you or not. I can't tell. That might actually be farther away. Demi Moore's Tapeworm is a new member. Cheers. Found a free app on Roku TV called Cinema Box that has a non-special edition version of Star Wars. I heard about this. Han shoots first and no episode 4 on the crawl because it's called Star Wars. It's not a fucking New Hope. Yeah, I have the despecialized. The thing is, like, Star Wars. Not feeling great about it right now. Weird, I had to re-sign up for a membership. Why? I've been a member for 4 years. What the fuck? Anyway, still rebuilding since the campfire in Cali. Yeah. So the campfire was 6-7 years ago, and you're still rebuilding. So that's what the Palisades has to look forward to. If you're ever in this shithole state, I'd love to meet up for coffee. I have to go back for a couple reasons. I have to go visit my mom, and I have to get that shit out of storage. And first opportunity I get to do that, I'm going to do it, which will hopefully be in the next couple of months. Got to do it. Because I'm tired of paying for that fucking storage over there. What's up with the ads on live streams too? Is it during live streams? That's not supposed to happen. We have that turned off. That's crap. I know it's YouTube, not you, but definitely no bueno. And yes, I'm trying to get my fam out of Cali. Oh, and I'm retarded. I.199 here. I just realized that Nerdrotic, this is Nerdrotic Live, so I'm not a member, but I am the OG channel of Nerdrotics. Okay. What about the ads on the live streams? What's up with that, X-Ray Girl? Chat. Hang on. I'm going back to chat. Did that actually happen? And if it did, like, how did it happen? Because it's not supposed to. It did? Okay. Like when? When did it happen? So I know who to yell out and when to yell at them. So it's when the stream hasn't crashed. So an ad will come up if the stream crashes, but I didn't see the stream crash. I'm not saying it didn't happen, guys. I completely agree with you. I'm going to find out when it happened so I can yell at somebody. Because we have our shit turned off. Like, it's turned off. It is not supposed to happen. Now ads will come up on the VOD, and those have been ridiculous too. And we try to remove them to a decent level. Okay. A tolerable level. But yeah, auto ads is not on. It is not on. It is not on. So if we're still getting them, then I have a beef. BBC Square up when? Oh, maybe today. Let's see what we got. We did it last week. JB24. We did one last week. Comparing the Best Picture nominees this year. Hang on. Comparing the Best Picture nominees this year to 30 years ago is very sad. 1995 was probably the best year. Maybe. Hi, Gary. I listened to Bo DeMeo on Diabolical Souls and really enjoyed the show. Would like to see him on FNT one day. Thoughts? I'll talk to him. Maybe I'll just do a little interview with him. I'll chit chat. I'll chit chat with anybody. Chit chat. I'll chit chat. Long form chit chat. No short interviews with fed questions or any shit like that. Aloha, Gary. You ever get around to watching Nefarious? Just rewatched it. Sean Patrick Flannery's performance is great. Remain blessed, everyone. I did, and I liked it a lot. I meant to get around to it a lot sooner, but I didn't. JA for 5 Canadian pesos. Hey, Gary, have you watched The Agency with Michael Fassbender and Jeffrey Wright? I think it's halfway competent spy show. Yeah, it was kind of boring. I'll see if I can get through it again, though. I mean, I started it with Melissa. Melissa was like, I'm not feeling this. Arg, another name for 1999. So the Amaranth news has been interesting. Apparently, she shot one of 3 home invaders that were allegedly trying to force her to transfer her crypto. Headline could be OnlyFans girl beats off 3 attackers. I knew this was going somewhere. Yeah, I know nothing about it, and I have no. I mean, is that true? Is it really true? I don't know. I apologize that I'm questioning the internet's truthfulness sometimes. Eddie Brock, 9043 for $5.99. Did you see the new Doctor Who season finale trailer? I did. We've already done a doctor and another doctor, but we've already done a doctor and a nurse technically a couple of times. Okay. But Martha was a doctor. It looks they're doubling down on woke as a galactic Eurovision episode. I saw that. Once he said he was Velma, I was kind of done. I'm like, yeah, it looks like shit. It's done, guys. It is over. And it should have been over 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Gary, can you say smash that like button? Yes, Corn Pop. Is that eyes? Am I supposed to say something? I'm missing something. I'm probably screwing it up. Sorry, Corn Pop. Birthday stream for Cardinal Sin Gil tonight at 8 p.m. Central on Canadian Spider-Man's channel. It's a party, not a memorial, but memories will be shared. Thanks. Cam's Crash Courses. Cheers. WG has gifted 5 Nerdrotic Live memberships. Hail to you. Hail, watched Denora. Was a good movie. Should have just had less graphic nudity sex. Now, that's not what I had a problem with, but yeah, it's a shag fest. It's a shag fest. Disney just hired you to rewrite Cap 4 with Mackie and no Red Hulk as a villain. Give us a quick synopsis of your story. Falcon takes on the remnants of a rebuilt Hydra. And it's called Falcon. There, I just rewrote it. Starring Anthony Mackie. Sorry, missed it. It's all good. It's all good. Why aren't you watching every second of everything I do? How dare you? How dare you, JB24? No, it's all good, baby. It's all good. Ads during live stream. A lot of live streams that I watch, it's been happening a lot more recently. That's fucking lame. So I specifically click a thing. They did change something with the ad stuff, but I haven't changed anything. So we specifically click no when it goes, hey, you should maximize your earning potential by putting in ads during your live stream. It's like, do you not understand fucking live streams? It's bad enough that we have to do reads. We love reads. Thank you. But like, people don't love them. The reason I never, ever put them in a video and never will. Never will. But yeah, that's so the one time I know they put ads in is when the stream fails, but my conspiratorial mind will tell you that they probably do that on purpose so they can put in ads. Hey, Gary, do you think Whedon has learned his lesson yet? We need him to get back to creating movies and shows. Oh, I think he's probably learned his lesson. But I think Hollywood's willing to bring him back. I just don't think Hollywood's willing to bring him back. All right, we're going to get to the square up portion. Let's go. Where was I? All right, there it is. Wait, I was looking for. There it is. Where's last night's Forbidden Frontier?
Hi, just go to copy of live and
Okay.
you'll see them over there.
From Forbidden Frontier?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I know we there's like a few that we need to get to, but I'm going to do FNT first. Thanks, X-Ray Girl. You are out there. You're alive. She's alive. Frederick Frickster for $3. These are donations. What defines Star Wars? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Some hard questions. And in my opinion, FNT can handle them. Hail FNT. Best wishes from Zodlander. I wish all the best to make entertainment great again. Give me the truth and give it to me raw. What defines Star Wars? As a series, or what film defines Star Wars? What defines Star Wars is the original trilogy. The original trilogy defines Star Wars. Everything else is just extra layering. Some good, most bad. The original trilogy defines Star Wars. It is treated and told as mythology. Farm boy and a trucker save a princess and save the galaxy. Pretty simple story. Hero's journey, also of its time, very much of its time. We're two years away from the 50th anniversary, but it's pretty basic good and evil stuff. And what defines it is its restraint. Now, what was that restraint? Budget limiting stuff. People telling George no, like Gary Kurtz and his wife at the time. Restraint. And through that restraint, we got brilliant creativity. We got a world that looked lived in. We got an alien world that looked as alien as it could fucking get at that time. It looked so. Go look at sci-fi movies produced before and even after. Look at Flash Gordon. Look at Logan's Run. All developed within a couple of years of before or after Star Wars. And Star Wars looks like it's light years away from those two movies that I love, by the way. So technically, but it was in its mythological approach to the hero's journey, good versus evil, and a technical marvel for the time. That will not be equaled. As far as is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Yes. Just yes. Not a Slag Collapse for $10. Hey, Gary, saw you in the Nooner that you and Gore have reservations about cataract surgery. Yes. Have you seen it? Had it 38 due to childhood injury. See the South Park episode. Good times. Easiest surgery recovery. Highly recommend. Okay. When I have to. Hello, Gary-san. You big American gamer. I hear. Curious. What is your favorite game of my making, please? Also, Exare Ghoul. Oh, by the way, it's Hideo Kojima, by the way. I would be very honored to motion capture your feet for Death Stranding 2. If allowed, please. May require date first. Sayonara! What's my favorite game? But didn't he do Metal Gear? I don't know. Tommy Campari for $1.99. Shad is 39. Wow. Yeah, I thought it was 55 too. The Mage's Corner for 10 Brazilian pesos. If Marvel, Star Wars, and DC have been massive failures over the last 5 years, what is the look forward to the next 5? Is James Gunn's DC reboot the only hope, or will another publisher take over? No. I just think it's time for something new. As a fan of superhero movies and I hope they got it right, did it right forever, I think it's time we take a break. Give us something new. Highly underrated Gene Hackman movies, Uncommon Valor. Narrow Margin, The Package, says Griffnizzle for $10. Ryan, do the discourse rap again. He won't, but Perry can you can watch it on Perry's channel or on Nerdrotic Daily, right? Rakawi for 150 UYUs, whatever that is. Best Gene Hackman movie, Class Action. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Greetings from Uruguay. Hot as Australia here. Best to fellow Southerner Shad. There you go. It's only 70 today. Congrats on the Turkey trip. I'm going there solo in 3 weeks, inspired largely by you. Saw Egypt last year. Thanks for sending me down the rabbit hole. You're welcome. It's Cauldron Walrus for $4.99. Thank you. Curtis D of Montana for $2. Elon, buy Star Wars and put Gina Carano in charge. Yeah. Be better fucking what they have. Taylor Sheridan shows are a cross between mafia and westerns and soap operas. J Chain. The last episode of 1923 had something pretty fucking cringe that they had the first female marshal but I think in real life she was a deputy marshal, but they made her the marshal. And the guy she chastises is a bigot, but she says the word bigot in like a very modern sense, and it took me right the fuck out of the show. I was like, come on, dude. And then they go back, which is funny because in the first episode, there's a based Indian who talks about like how centralized government is evil. And I'm like, based. So there's that. But it had a cringe scene and a pretty good ending. Pretty shocking ending, actually. Pretty shocking ending. But that scene, I was like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. I want to enjoy my show. Harrison Ford's good in it, though. Timothy Dalton's fucking good in it. But I saw that scene. I'm like, man, they're fucking trying to get some points on this one. Sorry. Yeah. Did I mentioned Alan Horn as being the studio head? That is not the studio head. He is who is studio head of Disney? It is Andrew Cripps. Yeah, it's Andrew. Is it Andrew Cripps? Walt Disney names Andrew Cripps as head. Oh, that's today. That's today. Holy shit. Warner Brothers vet Andrew Cripps named as Walt Disney studio head for theatrical distribution. Okay, so there's a studio head that works under Bob Iger. I can't remember his name now. Who is it? It's not Alan Horn. It is, who is it? Here's list of management. Board of directors. Current senior corporate office. I know I'd recognize the name, but now I'm not seeing it. Rich Ross was the former incumbent until his resignation on April 12th. So it was Alan Horn, and I don't know who's taking over for Alan Horn. I can't remember. Maybe you guys can. But there is, okay, so the point of the matter is there's Bob Iger, and then there's a guy who runs the fucking studio. That's Kevin Feige's boss. That's Kevin Feige's boss, who is not Alan Horn because he left. Dialogue writers in Hollywood should be required to watch Casablanca before they start. The Lone Boomer. I do not. Yes. I think if you just like film, you should watch that. There's a 4K version. The Man from Nan for $4.99. In the immortal words of G.K. Chesterton, the man who really believes in themselves are all in a lunatic. The man who really believes in himself are all in a lunatic asylum. Damn shame Kathleen has evaded the nurse. Alan, yep. Chase Marshall for $4.99. Alan Horn is no longer with Disney, and he went back to he left in 2022. Somebody took his place. God damn it. It's bugging me now. About to go do some sacred geometry with Randall Carlson. Thanks for keeping the end of my drive from Missouri to Tennessee entertaining. Also, Jeremy is gay. Baron von Tossington. Yeah, I got to watch that podcast that came out. Randall Carlson's podcast. I haven't watched it yet. Anyone see the ugly design Shrek and gang have? I did. I'm like not upset over it. Am I supposed to be? It's the 5th Shrek movie. Yeah, it's the 5th Shrek movie. We'll see. Seraph 78 for $5. Gary, as Son of Tardo was a character in Die Tard, can Son of Tardo give Tardo review? Yes, he can. NDI for $10. What's this part? It's this part 2. Where's part 1? Where is part 1? X-Ray Girl. Hang on. I'll find it. You don't have to find it.
There's no part 1. I don't know why they put that because there's no other super chat. I remember checking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like to send you some of the books. They are kind of sci-fi horror, sort of X-Files inspired, and kind of dive into Project Monarch and deeper. But we're looking for a showrunner right now. So here's hoping. Well, good luck. I don't know what happened in the first part of that, though. I don't know what happened in the first part of it. Speaking of the Oscars, why hasn't Hanoi Jane Fonda been jailed for treason? That needs to be done ASAP. Fuck Jane Fonda. Thank you, JP Jones, though. Hollywood better not dig its claws into K-dramas. A Sober Bear for $1.99. Judah for $2. The Oscars solely became the French Olympics. Yes. It's become the French Special Olympics. If Disney was to sell Lucasfilm and everything under its name, what would it take for someone to buy it? Because it shouldn't be under Disney at all. TJ Jordan for $5. I would be utterly shocked if Disney ever sold Lucasfilm. But I was shocked when George Lucas sold Lucasfilm. I was shocked when Marvel was bought by Disney. That was like, that came out of fucking nowhere. What would it take? Amazon, Netflix, or Apple. Those are the only 3 companies that could buy Star Wars and do something with it. Would they make it better? Well, Apple's a pretty fucking woke company, so I'm going to say no. Netflix, fuck no. Amazon, hell no. So, yeah, I think and famously companies really don't like to sell their IPs. They don't, because they see the future potential in them. And just owning them is actually adds value to their company, right? Like, even if you're doing nothing with it, I own Star Wars. That makes your company pretty valid still, despite Disney fucking it up every single way. We're talking about the dollars and cents people who only see bottom lines, and they didn't start changing until it affected their bottom lines. But see, that's a stupid fucking strategy. But that's the strategy of the mature corporation is, let's not rock the boat. Let's only change something when we need to change it. So instead of like a road engineer goes out and sees the road and the road leads onto a bridge and he goes, you know what? It's fine right now, but that bridge is going to collapse and there's giant potholes in the road. So they wait for the potholes to show up and fill the potholes instead of like doing what they're going to need to do anyway. Repave the fucking road, rebuild the fucking bridge. And they just never do. They just never fucking do. They could have adjusted 5 years ago. They knew the backlash to Captain Marvel was negative, but they were looking at that bottom line. They had made $1 billion. Despite everything out there saying that culturally wasn't really popular. And they're like, we just got to survive till next quarter. Next quarter. When you have people from both sides of the aisle fucking screaming their heads off like, dude, you're going the wrong way. This is going to fail. And then when a Marvels comes out, which is the most predictable failure outside of the Acolyte, when both of those come out within a year of each other and just fucking crater, and then people act surprised about it. And it's like, I remember making videos 2 years before the Marvels came out saying, this movie's fucking cooked. It's done. It's doomed. And it had people on Reddit so upset. Captain Marvel made $1 billion. What are you talking about? This guy's never read a comic book in his life. What the fuck does he know? Time can make fools of us all, you know, and sometimes it can validate you. Depends on how it goes. But How many times are we going to go through this? And then we said a year ago, a year and a half ago, Captain America 4, this fucking movie is doomed. It is fucked. And guess what? It's fucked. And they had to get out ahead of it and lie. And then a bunch of people who know Disney are lying decide to spread the lie. Why? Because so they can be on corporate teat, or so they can stick it to the chuds. Well, ultimately, the chuds are right again. The chuds were right again. This $350 million film that needs 800 to a billion to break even isn't going to even break even on your bullshit numbers. How do you like them apples? So eventually you got to face the truth or continue believing the lie, whatever works for you, whatever makes you feel safe. I choose the truth. If it was $1 billion film, I'd fucking tell you it was $1 billion film. But correcting past news reports of $350 million, which was widely spread around the trades, and everybody knows it's bullshit, and they're playing along. But the good thing is, there's people like us who are just going to go, nope. And then all you have to do is do some basic math that you looked up on fucking Google on how, like, it's not very difficult. Just people don't look into shit. It's not difficult to see how much a studio takes home. And it's not the entire fucking gross, if you know what gross means, gross of the film. You need to pay residuals. You need to pay catering. You need to pay for marketing. You need to pay for, there's a lot of hidden payments. No way it's making money. The female Silver Surfer situation gets all the more sickening when you remember that the Silver Surfer is Stan Lee's favorite character, and I can't help but think that was intentional. Shaun of the Dawn for 10 euros. The guys whose name I can't remember, who is the guy above, Alan Fine. Alan Fine. Right? It's Fine. Alan Fine. Is it Alan Fine? Or is he an old? I'm thinking of old executive names. That might have been an old one. Yeah, he left Marvel over disputes with Feige. God, who was it? Whoever the studio head is now is supposedly the one who picked female Silver Surfer over Kevin Feige. I find that hard to believe, but that's what I was told. Larry Fine? No. I can't remember who it is. It's a fucking basic bitch producer name who is between Feige and Iger. So Feige runs Marvel Studios, but he doesn't run Disney Studios. So Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy mentioned the guy's name too, and now in her article, and I'm not remembering, but she has to answer to him to two dudes. Alan Bergman? Let's check. Alan Bergman. Yeah. Okay, yes, it's Alan Bergman. Thank you, chat. You saved that was bugging the shit out of me. Alan Bergman. Okay, so it's Bob Iger, Alan Bergman, and that's who Kathleen Kennedy and Kevin Feige answer to, right? So according to, and someday I will tell you who this person is. By the way, those concept art leaks, some of them are real. At least one is. One is, I know for sure, because it was sent to me by somebody going, that's it. I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know about the Doomsday stuff. But there's a lot of it out there, and some of it is actually real. But it's just concept art. Doesn't mean final art, what it's going to look like, or anything like that. But I digress. So the person who said, like, The person who told me, and I told him I didn't believe him. He's like, yeah, Kevin Feige, they went over his head for that decision. I'm like, I can't, I don't believe that. Kevin Feige can't put his foot down and say no. So the coming of Galactus, you are adapting, in my humble opinion, one of the greatest stories ever told in comic books. DC, Marvel, Image, across them all. One of the greatest stories, one of my favorite. It is definitely in my top 3 for sure. Sometimes it's number 1. The Coming of Galactus is one of the greatest stories ever told in comics. And you're fucking that up. You're fucking that up with a female Silver Surfer and putting it on an alternate planet. You're fucking, and you're doing it first. This is something everything should be leading to. The Coming of Galactus. You don't start with The Coming of Galactus. And even if you invert it some way and you bring back Norrin Rad, which is what I heard is going to happen, is like they're going to bring Norrin Rad in later. You're still fucking this up because this is the normies' second introduction to Silver Surfer. And let's face it, Fox got it right. Fox did it right. Fox fucked up on Galactus, but they got Silver Surfer right. Silver Surfer is one of my favorite Marvel characters ever. I have all of his appearances up to, like, when I say all, it's up to where I quit. And I don't even recognize those comics as legitimate, but I have all of the true Marvel pre-Disney Silver Surfer appearances. All of them. Love the fucking character. Defenders, underrated book. Defenders is a fucking amazing team book for Bronze Age. So yeah, they fucked it up. They fucked it up. And the more I think about what they're doing, the less optimistic I feel, especially when you see concept art of the Young Avengers that are going to be in the Avengers movie where there's no fucking, actually, we know who the Young Avengers are. We have no idea who the Avengers are. Zodlander for 100 Swedish krona. As long as they don't fuck up John Stewart, I'm good. In my opinion, he needed to be a badass U.S. Marine and creative director too. And creative architect too. It seems like a good casting for Hal. However, Hal is not a favorite of mine. Yeah, I love it when Zodlander, when I bring up Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and Steve Rogers as Captain America, fucking retards on the internet go, what about Flash and Green Lantern? I'm all, what about him? What about him? It's already established that they've changed them multiple times, that it is a mantle. It is an established mantle. So what's your argument? Because where's that happened with Captain America? Where's the Kyle Rayner of Captain America? Where's the John Stewart of Captain America? Are you going to compare fucking Sam Wilson with John Stewart? Don't you even fucking dare. Where's the commitment? Green Lantern and Flash are not in the realm as far as, especially Spider-Man. Don't even talk to me. There are C-list characters, maybe B- characters compared to fucking Spider-Man, which is arguably the most popular character in the world. The only thing that would come close is Batman. And they kind of switch as time goes on. But yeah, it's an established mantle. So we're arguing apples and oranges, literally. I'm talking about an established character. Could Sam Wilson be the John Stewart of Captain America? Sure. Talk to me in 4 decades. There ain't going to be no fucking American comic books in 4 decades. But yeah, I love when they like, wow, that is the first time I've heard that argument. What about the Flash? What about Blue Beetle? What about fucking Blue Beetle? Because that's the same superhero as Spider-Man and Captain America, who admittedly was a B-list character, but always Steve Rogers. To most normies, I think more normies heard of Captain America than Iron Man, and I think people have heard of them in passing, but they were never A-list characters. But you know what? Disney, Marvel, and Paramount made them A-list, and they fucked it up ever since. But get the fuck out of here comparing the mantle of Captain America to Green Lantern. I thought the show, I mean, it's kind of a weird promo picture, but I thought the casting's really good for the Lantern show. That should be called Green Lanterns. So there's your problem. You know what your fucking problem should be? They're not calling it Green Lantern. They're calling it Lanterns, which tells you what their attitude is. He does have 6 fingers, says Jason. Since we are doing obituaries, R.I.P. Ernie Gygax. Yeah, Ernie Gygax, rest in peace. That's what this pops now. Darth Gabble for $5. James Woods dodged a bullet, getting blacklisted like he did. Yes. When Gina was canceled, when Gina was blacklisted out of Hollywood, I said, I mean, they've fucked her career forever in that town. So she has every right to her lawsuit. She will ultimately benefit from this because why? Because she stuck to her values. She showed integrity. She stuck to her guns. So few people in Hollywood would ever do that. They would get on their knees and do whatever it took to stay in there. Husband, wife, and dog killed with no signs of cause of death, and the dog didn't survive with a lightning-shaped scar. I guess, oh God, too soon, Kratos. Too soon. Darth Enron for $9.99. Hey guys, check out the Skywalker story shorts. Best Star Wars content since KOTOR. Great attention to the lore and believable character interactions. Go FNT. Cheers. Cheers. Nicole Ackerman for $20. This is a question for Disparu and Shad. Well, of course, I'll have to answer it now. How do you two feel about one of the worst shows ever made, Wheel of Time in March? Will be rough with that and Snow White. This was supposed to be the first. This is supposed to be the first messed up the other. Okay, well, nobody's going to care about Wheel of Time season 3 except for Shad and Disparu. It's going to be very similar for Rings of Power. Like nobody's going to fucking care. That one's, see, when we hit apathy, it's the process of grief. It's also like breaking up. You know, when you're still mad at something, there's some passion there. There's still some love. When you don't give a fuck, that's when you're dead. So it'll go into apathy. Wheel of Time will be a fart in the wind, and I predict that's what Rings of Power season 3 will be too. Fart in the wind. Norrin Rad is Silver Surfer. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Steve Rogers is Captain America. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. You are right, JJK 58174 for $5. Hello from Poland, guys. As an anti-woke left Polish patriot, let me just say this. What Trump did today was fucking retarded. Sad times. To what? Oh, to Zelensky? I disagree, but we can respectfully disagree. Harry Solomon for $19.99. Kathleen Kennedy recommends her twin sister as her successor. Yeah. Or Frank Marshall. Infinity Creations for $20. Okay, seriously now, Disparu. Take this $20 and go to the damn barbershop. Otherwise, you can put it towards your upcoming transgender operation fund. Just cut your damn hair. Keep up the great work. Only way for Star Wars to get worse is hire Todd Howard. There you go. Well, no, they can just keep the only way for Star Wars to get worse is you keep going the direction you're going. I know we don't do politics, but had to say how proud I was of President Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance today. And he did it in public. God bless the fellowship, 199. Yeah, see, so you have a European perspective who's not a fan of the woke. He clearly said that. And then you have an American perspective. And I understand the European, especially if you're in Poland, you're like, dude, like they're going to want to, they're going to want to come here. And who knows? Do you think Putin will stop at Ukraine? Hard to say. I think the reality is he'd probably stop while Trump is in office, and he'll go right back into it if a weak Democrat comes in office. And that's a game that Europe doesn't want to play, but Europe has to pay for this shit. Yeah. So the American perspective is, we don't want to pay for this shit. We don't want bad things to happen. We're not happy this happened. All right. But we're kind of the reason it did. And it's time for us to not be the reason this keeps going. And if we stop paying for shit, let's see what happens. Now, I'm not in the geopolitics. I know Russia is a bigger country. They have more troops, and it's taken them a long time to beat Ukraine, but they've got the territory they wanted back. I'm not really sure. They invaded a sovereign country. That's bad. Don't like that. Not a fan of Nazis. Not a fan of commies. And I'm not a fan of people dying. So I'm going to paraphrase the doctor. You're going to just, at some point, you're going to have to do what you always had to do from the beginning. Sit down and talk. And you can't sit down and talk until you stop firing. And that doesn't happen until somebody stops paying for it. And it can't be us. And you know what we should also do? Keep our fucking CIA from fucking with other governments and replacing democratically elected leaders. That's what we should stop doing. That would benefit y'all too. But this is what people voted for. It's exactly what people voted for. We're not Zelensky's fucking ATM. Okay. Very sorry for the Ukrainian people who have to go through this, who are being snatched off the fucking road to go fight for your country, which is, Toast Rider for $19.99. Hey, Gary, first time chat. You and Mahler have inspired me to make my own videos, and my first full-length review is up on the Batman. Oh, cool. Please check it out. If you have the time, would love your feedback. Keep on keeping on. Toast Rider, thank you. I'll check it out. I will. KK is the Mr. McMahon of Star Wars. She will outlive all of us out of spite. You're probably right, Ray Gonzalez. We will never know the truth about Kathleen Kennedy leaving until Mike Zero says so. Wise words. Camel toe tag for $5. Wise words. Baron of Aden for 45 Danish krona. Good news, Jeremy. Elon Musk cannot be a Nazi. Nazis make better cars. It's well known that Chewbacca has a red rocket. Shout out FNT from Seattle. My dog, Gimli, like the dwarf, says, "What's up? What's up, Gimli? There are more based folk up here than you think. Hold the line." Oh, there are. You're just outnumbered. There's base people in San Francisco too. Ryan has misery armor. He does, that one guy. You're not wrong. Superfly 1234 for $2. Can you get Blaine from Criticalist cast on here? Maybe. Yeah. Curtis D. Montana for $5. God bless America. God bless President Donald J. Trump. I haven't been as around in America in a bit. Zelensky learned this today. Fuck around and find out. Yep. What defines Star Wars? In a film, series maker can nail that. They can likely hit a home run. Zodlander, it's like they captured lightning in a bottle with Star Wars. They did. And while it was saved in the editing bay, George Lucas had a lot to do with it. George Lucas is a great technical mind, but he also had great people around him. But it's the same with trying to repeat the Lord of the Rings trilogy. You just can't. It's lightning in a bottle. But if you take that approach, and a serious approach, I think everything should be a limited budget, because I think it forces creativity. I think it forces creativity. There's always a bigger bitch, Qui-Gon Jinn. No truer words have never been spoken in a Star Wars film, but it should have been. Mackie and me for $19.99. I'm a week late, but it's my solemn duty to make sure the show gets love when snubbed on best finalist list. The Shield is GOAT and most satisfying type of show that will never be made again. More racial slurs than a 3 a.m. at Diddy's. Yeah, the fucking Shield is great. Great. The Lone Boomer for $5. KK is the personification of Peter Principle. Ryan Crawford for $19.99. Proper British money. Hail FNT Gary. I want to thank you for introducing me to the gentleman. My wife and I are loving it so far. I especially love Jimmy, the weed guy. Yes, he's hilarious. By the way, the actor Theo James couldn't be bad. A bad scout out for Bond. Yes, he wouldn't be bad for Bond. And that is a fantastic series. Now, Guy Pearce is doing another mobster series with Pierce Bronson on Paramount this month. What's it called? It's like the Mobsters, right? Did I say Guy Ritchie? Guy Ritchie. I don't know if I said Guy Pearce. I didn't mean to do that. I think I said Guy Pearce. Guy Ritchie show. Yeah, Mobland. Guy Ritchie's organized crime series starring Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, and Helen Mirren will finally be given a title, Mobland, and it will premiere March 30th on Paramount Plus. So I'm down for that. Down for that one. Weasel for $2. Kathleen Kennedy may someday retire, but keeping that office. Yeah, eventually it'll be true. Razzle Basil for $5. Hey, Gary, if you're ever in Greensboro, North Carolina, recommend Parts Unknown Comics. Dive bar comic store, but super inviting and knowledgeable. Are we going to be near Greensboro for Cosmic Summit? Where's Comics?
We'll be there.
Yeah.
For Cosmic Summit.
So we'll be there in June. We'll be there in June at Cosmic Summit if you want to come out. Edwin for 50 Danish krona says, how convenient that people that all held the Epstein files outside dancing were Jews. Edwin. New World Order. TJ Jordan. Were they, though? I don't think so. I think a couple of them were. But I was driving by the theater. We're talking about the Epstein file list, which turned out to be nothing so far. I was driving by a theater and saw on the movie listing sign that the letters of America minus the A had fallen off of Captain America. See, I'd watch Captain America. I'd watch Captain America. Josh Kelsey, thank you for the $19.99. He walks away. That's what Josh does. That's what Josh does. Just walks away, throwing money. Like, what the fuck? I don't need to say anything. Not unless it's important. Can you imagine Josh Kelsey at home? Like, he's the same way. He just doesn't fucking say anything. He just walks in. His wife starts cooking dinner with a look. Looks at his kids. They start doing their fucking homework with a look. Goes to work. He's a boss in this scenario. Secretary just starts typing a little faster, typing on her keyboard, obviously, and her computer, because I'm not ancient. A little faster with just a look. He's like Black Bolt. When he does say something, it could level the planet. Keaton Carpenter for $5. Theater in Washington ceiling collapsed during Camp Africa. Don't worry, the two people there didn't get hurt. No, but God has a sense of humor. Kathleen Kennedy would be nothing if she didn't play second fiddle to Frank Marshall. Agreed. Well, if she didn't fuck Frank Marshall and marry him. I mean, they're still married, so they obviously still like each other. No accounting for taste. Josh Peters for $20. Hail FNT. Hail the fellowship. First time super chatter here. Okay. I'd like to ask the panel for their favorite G.I. Joe character or favorite 80s cartoon character. Zartan is my go-to pick. Also, the Dreadnoks logo is fucking awesome. I mean, my favorite G.I. Joe character is like a basic. Well, I like Sergeant Slaughter. I mean, outside of Snake Eyes, because everybody is going to answer Snake Eyes. Where's the RSVP? I'm old and confused. It's out. It's out for Roman of the Empire. So we did a tiered thing. So we give members to a limited amount. Like we opened it up. The most goes to the people that went out today, right? X-Ray Girl, that is out today. It is X-Ray Girl. So we have a location.
Link is in the description for the RSVP.
A link is in the description for RSVP. It is a limited amount of spaces, but it's free. But it's a limited amount of spaces because we're limited to the venue that we could get. The venue was kind to give us the place. And it's down in Vegas, and it'll be lots of fun. More details to come. But the place is cool. It's going to be different. It sucks that we couldn't use our regular place because they had to sublease their second room. So we couldn't hold it there because we really needed that second room. So it sucks that we couldn't use the Millennium Fandom Bar, but I love Alex. Maybe we can, maybe if he moves like he said he might do, then we'll go back. I'll give Zelensky this much. He fakes competency better than my wife fakes an orgasm. That's at least something. Well, intellectual iconoclasm. Oh my God, iconoclasm. I know iconoclast, but it's iconoclasm. Thanks for sharing. I mean, to the four ladies in our audience, they probably have a retort to that. They're probably going to go, try harder. The guys will have a response to that. The 96% guys in the chat will have a response to that as well. Just keep it. I was going to say, keep it civil. Why in the fuck would I bother saying that? That would be such a waste of time. But at least she makes the effort to fake it, I guess. She's trying to make you feel better. Not that alt-right guy for $20. Had to say goodbye to my dog Mongo today. Oh, it's so brutal. I said goodbye to a dog last year. It's fucking brutal. He was the best friend for over 16 years. We do not deserve dogs, dude. We don't. Have to bring things down, but thank you, Figs, for giving me something to laugh at. Hail. Yeah. R.I.P. I'm going to sip one to Mongo. Good doggo. 16 years. It's a long time for a dog, but man, it is never easy, but fucking dogs are great. Fuck cats. WG has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. John Platt has gifted 5 for $25. Bacon Daddy has gifted 5 for $25. And Jesus Davidia, mi amigo, has gifted 1 Nerdrotic membership for $5. Statistically, morons are more likely to be a federal agent. Shad, do you have anything you'd like to tell us that he's a moron? I can tell you that right now. Gary, you should check out Skillet's new bass song, All That Matters. They call out the BLM and Kenosha riots, celebs bailing out rioters, and there's a line that says, so just leave the kids alone. That's based. Leave them kids alone. Hey, teacher. Leave them kids alone. Still applicable today. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall. Fuck yeah, Ryan. That's the plan for Star Wars. Yeah. Joke 4. Ryan, earlier he said, back when the slippery slope was still slippery. I thought maybe he was talking about X-Ray Girl after she hit the wall slope, not slippery. Get it, Ryan? Hail up. I don't get it. X-Ray Girl's young. Shad and QBG, you need to bully Gary into reading Wheel of Time so he can know your pain. Like I'll probably get through Wheel of Time. I've tried Dune enough to where I'm not going to try anymore. But Wheel of Time, I'll probably get through. And I won't watch the show. Matthew Hammond for $2. How great was Enemy of the State? Enemy of the State's fucking awesome. My mom worked in an office that did cataract surgery. It's inpatient stuff. You'll be in and out. Okay, cool. It just looks horrific. Did PRK back in 2017, best decision I ever made. Don't be emotional about how scary it looks. Look at the outcome stats. That's what I did, and I felt like a fucking idiot for not doing it sooner. Okay. It's just your eyes, that's all. Cataract surgery is 6162. Literally looked like a new TV. Not uncomfortable and quick recovery. All right. I'll do it. They're all peer pressuring me, X-ray girl, in the cataract surgery. I don't want to do because it sounds like something old people should fucking do. Some leftover from Forbidden Frontier. Totally forgot where I was when I chatted late and gay on Thursday on the Cosmic Explorers podcast. Chat, I'm going to say this definitively. Wherever I go, wherever you go, there you are. But aside from that, wherever you go, be yourself. Be yourself. Even if we have respectable guests on, or I'm on a respectable show. I'm on a respectable show. The Shadow Ranger for $5 tweeted this, or put this up last night for Forbidden Frontier. Here we go. Big fan, by the way. Big fan of the channel. Nerdrotic is the worst pop culture critic in existence. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you that. Friday Night Zeros is endless slop. EVS was right. The Fellowship is nothing but zeros. You're right. We're zeros. We've all been zeros all our lives, and we'll continue being zeros. But at least we're not the kind of people who would call other people zeros. But yet you are entitled to your opinion. You are. But it makes me think of another story. Ladies and gentlemen, it makes me think of another story. Well, not really a story. It just makes me look back on my life now that my book's done. As high as I've been, and I've been pretty fucking high. I have been on a cocktail of drugs you wouldn't believe. I have been on mescaline, acid, meth, alcohol, and weed. Maybe, I think there was a little hash involved in one fucking day. I could see music. I could taste color. I didn't know who the fuck I was. But you know what? I've never blacked out. And I've never licked a urinal. Ministry of Wrong Thing for $4.99. It's a gateway to it's a gateway thing. Literally reusing drug war propaganda in 2025, eh? Someone's scared of something. The Dead Man for $1.99. 2 words, Space Mexicans. Space Mexicans. Make that movie. Cheech and Chong, Space Mexicans. It'd be fucking awesome. Just like cargo cults, says Vapor Trails. Yes. So cargo cults are a fascinating thing, and they're very real. So back in, I can't remember if it was Korea or World War II. Pretty sure it's World War II. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. The Allied forces landed on an island that had not had any previous contact and gave them a bunch of fucking food. They're like, hey, there's natives here. Let's give them a bunch of food. Let's take care of them because we're on their island. We had a little runway, fighting the big war. And they were they loved them. Those were the gods that they built planes. They made like bamboo planes. So the gods would come back and bring them cool shit. So that's used as, honestly, like the ancient alien theory is something I started out in. I think mostly if you want to use the term Atlantis, I think it's more of a pre-civilization that humans were the ones who built these giant megalith. I believe in aliens and I think they visited, but I don't think they, possibility of fucking with our DNA in the past, but that's about it. But I don't believe Zachariah, like Baalbek was a giant, platform for a rocket. I don't believe that at all, but I digress. That's what they bring up is the cargo cult. And it makes sense. Look into the cargo cult. Hey, Garrett, the Bible in Hebrew actually talks about multiple spirits creating the universe. Metatron has a vid on it. Yes. A lot of similarities with other stuff that came prior to that as well. Look into that Sumerian text. Look in the Epic of Gilgamesh. There's a flood story in there. Oh, shit. My coffee just came right back out. You probably wouldn't have known unless I brought it up. And I had to bring it up. All right. Let's see what else we got. Where are we? Where are we? Where did I stop? Here. Okay. Yeah, I've got about 10 ads on this live stream so far. It's annoying, but it's not just you as and them too yesterday, but it keep posting on Callie. I don't have cash for meetups. One day, I hope. Are you, well, I'm not going to ask how you're watching, because if you're using ad blocker, they might be doing that for the ad blocker. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's been 7 years this November since the fire, and I live in a small ass town, and the idiots are taking forever to rebuild. I can't imagine what LA is going to do. They're still putting up red tape. That sucks. Sucks, brother. Good luck to you and your family. Hello, Gary. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it to Vegas meetup, but I was wondering if you guys are going to San Diego Comic-Con. It's 50-50. I mean, I have to go out to California at some point. Like I just said, because I have to get my storage out of there and go visit my mom. But with the death in the family, that's definitely put a curtail on some of our plans this year. Because Melissa is going to be occupied for months. Hayakuyu? There is a death battle between Ghost Rider and Spawn. Oh, I saw that. I think it was a great matchup, and maybe you should check it out when you get a chance. I will check it out. I did see that. I did see it. Somebody tweeted it at me. Ghost Rider beats Spawn. Spawn's a ripoff. So I like Spawn a lot, but it's a ripoff of a lot of things. Out of Africa was Best Picture in 1985, awarded in 1986. Love your commentary, Gary. Out of Africa. Oh yeah, that's right, because I looked up 85. Fucking Back to the Future is way better than Out of Africa. Give me a fucking break. M2M for $5. I saw Ninja 2 in the theaters 3 times. Planning a 4th. It was awesome. Visuals, action, heart, comedy. It covers it all. Suck it, Neo Hollywood. Well, it's made $2 billion in China, if you really believe any of their numbers, which I don't. Gary, who's your favorite Robin and why? And the worst? Oh, well, Tim Drake's the worst now because he's fucking gay. My favorite Robin is Dick. Dick Grayson. It's my favorite Robin. Always will be. The first. But Tim Drake, liked him quite a bit, but now he's the worst. What do I think of the ship porn of Babylon 5? I think I like the Babylon 5 space station. And I like the idea of the shadow ships. By the way, man, holy shit. Did George borrow a lot from Babylon 5 in certain aspects? Night's Watch, the shadows come to play. I mean, like, there's a lot of similarities, but I digress. But the ships were okay. I think they would have benefited from better effects. The fighters are cool. Babylon 5 station is cool. The shadow ships are cool. But yeah, it's all right. Great story, though. Great story. Be kind to yourself and others for 50. Thank you. Looks like Mickey 17 looks like a good sci-fi movie. Do you think you could review it if they are making good movies again? We need to support it. Otherwise, they will make less and do so. Well, I'm always going to support new sci-fi. What I am concerned about is Mark Ruffalo plays Trump in the movie. That's my concern. So is it going to be on the nose? I mean, like if it looked like it was going to be like the underlying message was that companies see people as just things that can be replaced, which they do. I think so much would be better in the world if people just accepted it in a lot of cases for what it is. There's certain things you want to fight for, certain ideals, but like those are generational. There's generational problems. And what can we control today? Well, I can control where I work. And if I feel like I'm just this fucking cog in a machine and I don't want to be treated like a cog in a machine, then I'll leave and go find something place where I'm happier, where I think they will treat me better. I think a lot of people feel trapped in that. And of course, it's based on your skill and stuff. But the one thing I learned in my life is I'm not going to stay at a job where it's never been about the work. It's been about the people. And I've been at jobs where the people are fucking awesome. And it was a heaven to work. Like Cush Acura of Escondido was a great place to work. So many good people. It was just fun. It was just fun. Yeah, Tesla, great company, great pay, great benefits. And it wasn't all the people. There's some people there. There's a couple people there who are fucking bitches, and I just couldn't stand being around them. Every day. You have to be with these people every day. It's like, fuck no. No. And they like really went out of their way. And that's where my fault comes in. I'm not a good corporate team player. I'm just not. I'll be a team player, but not a corporate team player. I have this terminal problem of wanting to think for myself. But again, back to Mickey 17. Aside from Mark Ruffalo being in it playing a Trump, I actually am looking forward to the movie. I like the trailer. I like Robert Pattinson as an actor. I think he's a good actor, and I will be seeing it opening day. Absolutely. And hopefully it's great, and hopefully the Trump thing I hear about is just bullshit. Justin Martins for $5. You look like a little devil, Gary, that sits on your own shoulder at the Oscars party last night. You're dressing like a little angel, Gary, next year? No. Well, maybe some wings. Maybe. Did Hassan Piker just get banned from Twitch? Did he? Let me see. I'm seeing a bunch of old stuff. Did something like so recent it wouldn't even be hitting. I'm checking Twitter. This is 7 hours ago. Breaking news, leftist streamer Hassan Piker is now urging his audience to assassinate senators, stating, if you cared about Medicare fraud, you will kill somebody. Does he say this out loud? You guys want to hear it? So did this get him banned? I'm confused. Let's see. Yeah, he called for the killing of a senator. Here, let's listen, shall we? I don't know who I'm sharing here, by the way, so forgive me. Oh, hey, Hassan Piker, Mr. Dude Bro communist with his fucking muffin top haircut, millionaire, son of a rich guy, trust fund baby, going to tell you how to live. Let's fucking go. Let's go.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. Okay? You wouldn't make Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, Rick Scott, you wouldn't make him the current, what is his current office? What is he? He's the Richard Lynn Scott, is an American attorney, businessman, politician, Navy veteran, serving as the senior United States Senator from Florida, a seat he has held since 2019. And also, I believe this past election cycle, he was literally the fucking head of the, what was it, like the Senate committee or something? If you cared about Medicare fraud.
Well, he'll get away with that. He'll get away with that. What are they going to ban him for? What, 24 hours? $24 maybe. Oh, here we go. Hassan has been banned from Twitch. I agree with Gundam. Gundam's response is, I give it 72 hours max. Disbrew says, to be fair, it'll be less if he has sex with a moderator. So yeah, he has been banned from Twitch, and my guess is with Gundam, it's 72 hours. Thank you, Matthew. Check out Matt Walsh, Lord of the Rings post from yesterday. It's funny. Longtime viewers, first super chat. I think so. Thank you. Was it Joy Reid saying Gondor has no king? Gondor needs no king? Is he retweeting that? I don't follow Matt Walsh, and he doesn't follow me. That's fine. His tweet from yesterday. Oh, Casey Anthony. Casey Anthony's a fuck. We just got rid of OJ. Now Casey Anthony's wants to be a TikToker. Like how to kill your own daughter. Oh my God. Get some fucking vlogging music in the background. I'm not seeing a Lord. Oh, yes. Okay. Look, I'm no Lord of the Rings expert, but I'm pretty sure that Gondor did, in fact, get a king. It needed one, by the way. And that's why the third book is called Return of the King. Yes, I wasn't sure. Lady Gravemaster showed me that, and it's from Blue Sky, and I have no way of checking. I'm like, is that fucking real? Yeah, fake Geek Girls. Entertaining channel. Cheers. Hope you're talking about me. I'm going to assume you are. I finished 1 and 2. Return of the Jedi tonight. Can't wait. Hell yeah. Dude, if someone makes a Captain America, they're missing a big payday. I'd like to see Ryan Reynolds make it, starring Blake Lively. There you go. Well, you know, Blake Lively wants to win an Academy Award. She should just play a hooker, play a whore, and get naked and everything. She'll win an award. And I wouldn't be against it. Be a good career move for her. What are the key points of a good sci-fi series? Matthew, I'm going to give such a basic answer because these are the key points for a series. The key points for a good sci-fi series are the same key points for a good horror series, drama series, whatever series. Engaging characters. You need to have engaging characters. If you're doing a TV series, even if you're following an arc, a TV series allows you to give more characterization. You spend more time with the people. You start getting to really know them. And then you feel the loss if they're gone. You feel the loss of the show. But it's a character journey. It's a character journey. Now, another one is if you're going to do a story arc type of series like Babylon 5, you need to have a show Bible. You just do. You need to know. You need to have your ending written and like there. But you know, something, what makes Stargate SG-1 last for as long as it did, or Star Trek or anything? Engaging characters. A good concept is a good start too. But you can mess with concepts. Like Farscape has a nutty concept. It's great. I fucking love it. It's got puppets, engaging characters. So it works the same for sci-fi as it does for everything else. Everything else. Now, another key point would be if you're doing a science fiction show, you have somebody there who knows science fiction. And I wouldn't stop there. They would have to have a pretty high pop culture IQ, because science fiction is not something you half-ass, or you could bring in a soap opera writer, or just throw women at it who've never been into it at all. Sci-fi is a niche that requires, again, a high pop culture IQ to understand. So you can't be a fucking dummy. Say your name asking for somebody else. Carl Votlander. Hopefully I got it close. Carl. I missed the meetup ticket. Sold out. Is it sold out? I'd buy someone a couple of beers if they could get me in a couple of tickets. Well, Pew, hang on. Be on the waiting list, because if you get in the waiting list early, there'll be people like who cancel all the time. So get on the waiting list and we will get back to you. So I didn't know it was sold out already. Holy shit. So I noticed Halo that was streamed on Paramount is now on Netflix. Guess Paramount is desperate for new eyeballs for their crappy video game show. Yes. So they're going to start licensing stuff out. And believe me, like when it goes to Netflix, it'll get more people watching, because most people don't subscribe to Paramount Plus. Paramount should end its streaming and just make shows. As a matter of fact, they should just have Taylor Sheridan make shows. Fucking put Taylor Sheridan in charge of fucking Star Trek at this point. I fucking, what else? Like, there's no other plan. I think Taylor Sheridan would actually do a better job at Star Trek than most people out there. So just give him fucking Star Trek. You now have a seeing eye Asian. You don't even need eyeglasses now. That's true, Aaron. That's true. I licked 3 earmuffs. I'm proud of you, Corpipe. I am. What happened to BioShock movie? I don't know. What happened to it? Is it gone? Friday Night Whites. Gary, what Space Ghost comic book run do you recommend? The Dynamite Joe Kelly one? I know you talked about it, and I can't remember. No, it's not the Dynamite Joe. That one's good too. But get the DC. Pretty sure it was DC. DC Joe Kelly one with the Alex Ross covers. I will show it to you again. It's super good. That's the Dynamite one. That has Alex Ross covers too, so that's probably why it's confusing. Yeah, this is the DC version. So it's by Joe Kelly and Ariel Olivetti. And it's a DC version, came out in the mid-aughts, and it's his origin, and it's fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing. Cannot recommend it enough. Here we go. This one right here. That's the cover you're looking for. So it's the DC Comics one. Space Ghost. The interior art. So those are Alex Ross covers, but the interior art it's fucking amazing. It's very heavy metal. Okay, it's very heavy metal. And I sold the shit. You know, it the thing about a comic book shop guy who's trusted, who actually reads the books, and not every comic shop owner did, like Space Ghost, I would sell as many copies of that as Watchmen, because people would go, what do you recommend? I'm all, this fucking origin, because it's so like, Space Ghost used to be a serious cartoon, and then they did Space Ghost Coast to Coast, so it became funny. I mean, serious in the sense of a Saturday morning cartoon, but it was done in earnestness. You know, he was a hero. So then we knew about Space Ghost Coast to Coast, and then Joe Kelly gives him a Punisher origin, like his tragic Punisher origin, and it's fucking awesome. And makes him into like a legit superhero, by the way. Good shit. Now that's a movie I'd watch. You do a Space Ghost movie like this, that's a movie I'd watch. Fantastic book. I'm pretty sure you can find the original copies on eBay fairly cheap too. Like, that would be the best route to go. You always want to go to the source. Fuck trade paperbacks. Who's Batman's true heir? A lot of people would say Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis, but I would say Dick Grayson, which they did for a little while. Dick Grayson is the true heir of Batman, Nightwing. Nobody will ever be Batman. Now, there might be different answers, and I respect that. But Dick Grayson is the true heir of Batman. Trained under him, went out on his own, became his own man, his own hero in its own right. And they've done it, but they've never stuck with it. Why? Why have they never stuck with it? Although I think and they've done it, but they've never stuck with it. And I think a lot of fans would probably be okay with it for a really long time. But the fact is, Batman ain't no fucking Mantle. Batman's Bruce Wayne. And we could like Batman Beyond. It's a very different Batman. But it ain't Batman. Batman is Bruce Wayne. Superman is Clark Kent. Diana's Wonder Woman. These are not mantles that can be passed down. Green Lantern is a mantle that can be passed down because they've shit out so many Green Lanterns, and quite frankly, they've done a better job than they did with Hal Jordan, with a couple of them, John Stewart and Kyle Rayner. And I grew up, so when I was a kid, it was Hal Jordan and Barry Allen. But when I was like getting a little older and collecting more in my teens, so when I was a little kid, those characters were around. But in my teens and on up, it was Kyle Rayner and Wally West. And I am a Wally West Flash guy, definitively. I am 100% Wally West. Wally West is my Flash. Love Wally West. And, the first DC book I started reading regularly outside of Batman and Superman was Teen Titans. Marv Wolfman and George Perez's Teen Titans blew my mind. And let's not forget that was the one DC book, the lone book that outsold the X-Men for a little while, was the Teen Titans. And they did one of the greatest crossovers ever. Dark Side, Dark Phoenix. Holy shit. Is that a great crossover? And I fucking remember it to this day, buying it at the Coronet newsstand in Oceanside, California, which was right next door to Professor X's comics. But Professor X's wouldn't get new comics because back in those days, comic shops just sold back issues. So if you wanted new stuff, you went to the newsstand, and then it's right above like the titty magazines, which is great because you can pretend to be like, I'm really thinking about buying this comic, but what I'm really staring at is Raquel Welch's tits. Did I get to this one? Marvel ruined Doctor Doom in the One World Under Doom crossover event, making him Trump allegory. Yep. Fantastic Four are shocked to see family with Doom flags. I've checked out. The Books of Doom is good. That came out a long time ago, though. Books of Doom. Was I a fan of the original V? Very much so. I loved V. Fucking loved it. Remake it in another world where they could make stuff. Yes. But I love V. V is a great concept that could be like if the right people came along and remade it, it could be really fucking good. And it's meant to be a TV series. Same with Battlestar Galactica. If you go back to the original concept of the original series and want to adapt something that and maybe not get Sam Esmail, who did Mr. Robot, but became a political tool for the Obama regime, to where he directed Obama's fucking movie. And he's just like got TDS up his ass, like creative guy who's just politically up his own ass, and it keeps him from making good stuff. So thank God the Sam Esmail fucking Battlestar Galactica shit the bed, and maybe get somebody who cares about sci-fi and really knows the Battlestar Galactica lore. You know, how many people like, you know, I know Rob has, so I'm going to say Rob and maybe Chris Gore, but how many people were obsessively reading the Battlestar Galactica novels? I was. I fucking love that show. How about the Frazetta covers on them, on those paperbacks? Those are fucking amazing. What is your view on Spider-Man the Clone Saga? I was introduced to Spider-Man in that arc. Where should I end and where does it actually begin? Well, looking for the beginning in comics. Well, it begins Spider-Man, was it 151? Amazing Spider-Man 151? No, not 151. Is it one? Hang on. First appearance of clone. Used to know all this stuff off the top of my head. Now I don't. 149. I was close. So you start with 149, where the Jackal creates the clone. Okay. You start there. The Clone Saga starts, I'm blanking on the issue now, when you start seeing Ben Reilly, who's the Flash's favorite. The Clone Saga starts out fine, and it turns into a gobbledygook of shit. So good luck. Maximum Clonage, it's got a good cover, but it goes well into Maximum Clonage. But I'd say the saga pretty much ends when they fucking relaunch Spider-Man, when they end the numbering and they relaunch Spider-Man. That was many years ago. I've slept since then, though. I think there's the Clone Saga was hated at the time. Fucking hated. Looking back on it, it was still a mess. It was an editorial mess. And it was done because they were going to lose the rights to Peter Parker. So they were thinking they did it over rights issues, pretty much. That's it. And I hate what they've done to Ben Reilly now. But like looking back on it, I mean, I've read worse for sure. But it muddled Spider-Man. I like the Scarlet Spider. I love the look of the Scarlet Spider. Even when they introduced it, I'm like, I dig the Scarlet Spider. That's cool. But what they've done to Spider-Man is much worse, right? Now he's part of teams and Spider Island and all that shit. Like it got worse. Like One More Day is worse than the Clone Saga. I'd recommend the Clone Saga 1,000 times over One More Day. But we are talking 30 years ago. 30 years ago. But you start, 149. But I'm pretty sure there's a Clone Saga omnibus. Pretty sure. Omnibus. Yep. Volume 1. There we go. All right. Here's your list. Web of Spider-Man. Oh, they throw in some 1985 stuff. So that's interesting. Huh. Is this volume 1? Both Peter and Ben are okay. One of the most explosive sagas in comic history. Peter Parker's world is rocked like never before by the return of his clone. Long thought dead for years, the clone has lived in peace as Ben Reilly. But now he'll be drawn back into a wall-crawling action as a Scarlet Spider. But who or what is Kane? I like Kane. I have action figures of Kane. Both Peter and Ben are caught up in a web of death spun by the Jackal, and their power and responsibility will be tested to the limits as the villains came of Smoke and Mirrors raises the questions, just who is the real Amazing Spider-Man? Collecting Web of Spider-Man 1985, 117 to 125. Amazing Spider-Man 394 to 401. Spider-Man 1990 version 51 and 58. Spectacular Spider-Man 1976, 217 to 224. Spider-Man Unlimited 1993, 7 through 9. Spider-Man Funeral for an Octopus 1 through 3. Spider-Man the Clone Journal and material from Spider-Man Collector's Preview. So that's just the first volume. It's a hot fucking mess. You see, it's a hot mess. I completely forgot Spectacular Spider-Man issues from 1976 were involved in that. Holy shit. What a fucking mess. But that's where you started. I mean, good for you for staying on. Good for you for staying on, but holy shit. Batman Beyond had an episode that summed it up perfectly. Amanda Waller knew she needed another Bruce Wayne, not another Batman episode with Ace Goat. You're absolutely right. Zodlander for 20 Swedish krona. Can MCU adapt the Spider-Man Clone Saga? MCU? Kevin Feige? No. They can't even adapt Coming of fucking Galactus in like fucking 3 issues. How many James Gunn projects in DC are still happening from what he announced at this point? From what he announced, 2. No, 3. Supergirl. So 3. But a bunch have been shit-canned. I think shit-canning the Authority is a good move. How was your experience on Piers Morgan? And how much does he pay you? Autistic internet slap fights for $6.99. The experience was great. I love being invited on. They pay me nothing. And I ask for nothing. And I ask for nothing. I think any opportunity to get the word out, be myself. And they ask me to, they like, I think they think sometimes they might think I go too soft on stuff, but they like, do not tell me what to say. They're like, no, fucking go in hard. Like I misgender Sophia Gascon on his live stream. Like no, I don't misgender. Let me roll that back. This is a fucking poisonous thought. No, I properly gender the dude playing a woman was nominated for Best Actress because he's a fucking dude. I don't care what you cut off. I don't care what fucking drugs you take. Again, I do not participate in your fantasies. If you want to live them out as an adult, that's fine. You start wanting to pushing your ideology on, I don't know, kids, then we draw the line. You want to go be a fucking drag queen or whatever that, live your best life. I don't give a fuck. But when you tell me what I'm supposed to say, because guess what? I have the freedom to call you whatever the fuck I want. I owe you nothing. And you owe me nothing. As long as we have that understood, I am sticking with the pronouns I've been using in my vocabulary, which admittedly is not good. for 55 years. I don't know. I haven't been talking for 55 years, but you get the point. Richard is Bruce's son more than Damien as well. Yeah, Damien is a bad egg. The Damien story is fine. It shouldn't be the one they're starting with. That's fucking retarded. The Clone Saga sucks so much, yet Disney Marvel decided it was good idea that they had a Clone Saga with Miles Morales. I know. By the way, Miles Morales is Miles Morales. You're right. Fantastic, Mr. Knox. Listen. The fact that there's enough nostalgia for the Clone Saga to put it in an omnibus should tell you how bad things are. That people would rather read a Clone Saga in omnibus form that nobody could figure out. I'm the biggest Spider-Man fan at the time, completely dialed into everything that was coming out, and I couldn't keep up with it. My comic shop, the comic shop I went to on Comic Ground, it's no longer there, owned by a young lady named Marilyn. She was great. She couldn't keep up. Nobody could keep up with it. It was insane. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks for joining us on the Nerdrotic Nooner. We'll see you next Monday on Rumble. Will I do a watch party for Daredevil? Yes, on the main channel. On the main channel, we will do a watch party. Why not? Why the fuck not? So first 2 episodes of Daredevil air 8 p.m. Central. So if you're a member on Nerdrotic, we'll be watching it. We'll be watching it. All right. Then that's the next thing I'm going to review unless something crazy gets happened. What's funny is every time we go on a trip, we're like, well, I'll bring my video. And I have no intention of making a video unless something crazy happens. And it was always followed up. And I'm pretty much every YouTuber said that. Unless if like Kathleen Kennedy gets fired, right? So the news hit about Kathleen Kennedy retiring. And I didn't make a video because I'm like, I've heard this before. I don't care if it's coming from Matthew Bologna Sausage. I've heard this before. And I absolutely refuse to make one until she fucking walks out of the building and is actually gone. Not the thought of her being gone, not her talking about being gone. No, being fucking gone. Then there's something to say. Until then, it's just an old bitch who should be writing $12 checks to her grandchildren, fucking up Star Wars. And the longer she's there, the less of a chance it has to ever come back. But it is kind of funny. That's like, oh, unless Kathleen Kennedy gets fired, it's like, oh, she kind of did. More than 11 on that, but more than 11 on that. So, yeah, BBC tomorrow. Can't remember if it's on my channel or Az's, but we'll do real BBC tomorrow. And then Daredevil time. So I will talk to you all. Thank you to the Modrotics. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat donation. You help keep the lights on. Bless you all. And I will see you mañana.